Today I am sitting on an old cannon, at the very southern tip of Tjøme Island in Vestfold. This is of course no coincidence, because today's story is about the German attack on Oslo in April 1940. It all started out there, in the archipelago, outside Færder Lighthouse. The German Kampfgruppe 5 was confronted by the neutrality vessel Pol 3. If you haven't done so already, remember to hit the subscribe button. Do it. Hit the little bell too, to get notified when I upload a new film. Sit back and let's look at an exciting story from World War II. The attack on Oslo starts late on the evening of April 8, 1940, when the German ships sailed into the Oslofjord. They sailed past Bolern and Røy Fort. Røy Fort fired some shots with live shells, but none of the shells hit the German ships. There is one thing unique about the cannon next to me. It previously stood at Røy Fort, and it was this cannon here that Major Hersleb Enger ordered to fire when the Germans attacked Oslo on this dramatic day. It is open here, so you can go inside. Of course, I have to go in and pull the trigger. When the German attack force sails up the Oslofjord, they split into two groups. One group consists of Albatross and Condor, plus a couple of fast boats. Attacking Horten, the other ships sail on towards Drøbak and Oscarsborg. Here in Horten, two fast ships sail into the inner harbor, where they meet the mine layer Olav Tryggvason, which opens fire and sinks one of the fast boats. Right here where I am now, at Appens in Horten, most of the Germans made it ashore alive, but there were also Germans who died here. I actually have a picture taken the moment the boat is shot on fire, and I also have some pictures from Horten Cemetery, where German soldiers are being buried. One of the things I like about history is being where it happened. I have some pictures from World War II. In these pictures you can see German soldiers being buried here in Horten. The door to Horten Chapel is quite recognizable, and there is no doubt these pictures were taken right here. But guys, what the Germans experienced in Horten was nothing. When the German ships approached Drøbak, Colonel Birger Eriksen stood waiting for them at Oscarsborg Fortress, and this became the greatest loss of soldiers that the Germans experienced in an attack in Norway. I have a number of pictures from World War II. Some of those pictures are taken here where I stand now, by the main battery at Oscarsborg Fortress. It is crazy to think that right here, by the cannon at Oscarsborg Fortress, many Germans stood and admired this old warrior. I understand well that they were fascinated by the cannon, because it is truly gigantic, and not least, it has a dramatic history, connected to World War II, when the Germans come here to Drøbak. So I think they meet something they were not prepared to meet, namely a 65-year-old colonel from northern Norway. Colonel Birger Eriksen was not willing to let the Germans into the Oslofjord. He now went to war against the German naval power coming into the fjord. It became known afterwards that on board the German ships that sailed into the Oslofjord this morning, April 9th, on board the German ships there was a large force of a couple of thousand men who were to secure Oslo, and among other things, capture the king and government. It must have been a very tense situation here at Oscarsborg. On the night of April 9th, 1940, Colonel Birger Eriksen had received reports that ships were entering the fjord. I imagine how all the soldiers here were terrified. The fort was now on high alert. When the ships were at a distance of 2,000 meters, they were observed. When the ships are at a distance of 1,200 meters, Colonel Birger Eriksen personally gives the order to fire from Cannon 1 and Cannon 2. Here at Oscarsborg, Blücher is the first of the ships, is shot on fire, and sails past where I am standing now. Down below there is the torpedo battery at Oscarsborg. It was an unexpected surprise that gives Blücher the final blow. Two shells from the main battery at Oscarsborg and the massive cannonade from the Drøbak side of the Sound have caused great damage to Blücher. The ship glides burning through the water, but the death below still awaits. At 4:26, the phone rings for Colonel Birger Eriksen. It is Commander Anderson who asks a short and specific question. Should we torpedo? The answer from Colonel Eriksen is just as short and concise. It shall be torpedoed. At 4:26, the German soldiers still aboard Blücher discover torpedoes rushing towards them. Shortly after, it explodes midships. The battle is over. The time is 6:21. Then the pride of the German Navy sinks in the Drøbak Sound. When the other German ships saw that Blücher was torpedoed, all the ships turned around and none sailed further into the Oslofjord. I am unsure if they realized it was a torpedo battery or if they thought the fjord was mined. It ended with them landing in Sund instead and marched to Fots, from Sund to Oslo, something that took a long time. This was crucial for the king and the government. It is so peaceful and nice inside the courtyard here at Oscarsborg. But had you been here on April 9th, 1940, it would not have been peaceful. After Blücher was sunk, the Germans sent up many planes, and Oscarsborg was subjected to a violent bombing raid. Under the fortress at Oscarsborg, there are a number of tunnels. I can just imagine that during this violent bombing, after Blücher was sunk, that a number of the soldiers and crews at Oscarsborg sought refuge down here. I would assume that it was significantly safer here than it would be on the upper side of the tunnels. The Germans lost Blücher, but they occupied Oslo on April 9th, 1940. True, it was not as early as they had planned. I will take a trip into Oslo and look further into this story here. There was a lot of drama that happened in the capital this day.